we encourage women when they come, because quite often they're very upset. And we leave this book in the room, and we just tell them, look, if you want to write it down, because sometimes it makes them feel better by actually writing it down. Or if you want to make a formal complaint to the police, you can make a formal complaint to the police. This week, for example, we had a woman who has made a formal complaint to the police, but then so many have and nothing has ever happened because it seems to sit in a file somewhere in the Public Prosecution Service's office. This is a woman who came in with her daughter, who was 15 years old, and was approached as she came in. She said she was subject to, and I use her words, a verbal tirade with comments such as, "This is your grandchild, and what of your eyes during an abortion?" Both my husband and I told her to stop, but she continued and tried to block the doorway entrance. In my opinion, this is harassment and will cause emotional and mental strain on any woman or her partner or family attending here.
We want to undo the many lies that are told to those women when they go to the FPI for counselling. We've met many of those women after they have come out of the family planning centre, and many of those women have went on to keep their babies because we've been there. To say that we traumatise or harass any woman is certainly not the case. It's the other way around. When women are being told that their baby's a blob of cells, that there is no link between breast cancer and abortion, that they won't be traumatised because of the abortion, it's very unfair that that woman leaves that centre with only one side of the story.
I have a file here which I call, in many ways, my fan mail. I've got this letters from people for many years, and I suppose it sort of confirms what I've always said, that the actions of some people, whilst they may be peaceful, can actually, in inverted commas, encourage others who may not be so peaceful into act are not appropriate. And you know, I've received letters, miraculous medals, weird stuff over the years. You know, I've got one here saying, you know, I assume that you're not a parent, if so, heaven help your kids. Sort of ends up by saying that whether you scorn this letter or not, let me remind you that one day you will give an account of yourself to God, and if you don't change your attitude, you'll have to bear the consequences. And then a quote saying, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. And it's signed concerned mother. So there's always one thing that amuses me is that people who send these sort of letters never actually sign their proper name. It's always concerned mother or whatever. Interestingly enough, I don't get as many of these nowadays as I used to, and I think that's because the internet has taken over. And so therefore you get weird things posted up on the internet. You know, I have one here which says Irish blood flunkies, and there's a photograph of me. You know, where they get the photographs from, I'm not sure. And it says Audrey Simpson, the blood-soaked witch pictured above as the head of the Family Planning Association in Northern Ireland, is now trying to get the bloody Brits to bring their baby butchers to Northern Ireland.
Do you feel your own personal safety is at risk?
No, I mean, I just think it's people who are doing this are very... I actually feel sorry for them, to be perfectly honest, because the thing about it is that abortion, there's not all that many families around anywhere that abortion actually doesn't affect them. It might not be their immediate family, but it might be the friend of a friend, or it could be a second cousin, or it could be their daughter, it could be their wife, whatever. And the person who has written that, just say that their daughter was faced with an unplanned or crisis pregnancy, became raped or whatever. Would they really feel confident about going to them and saying, this is what happened to me, and I really don't want to go on with the pregnancy? And so what happens is that their child won't go to them because they know the sort of reception that they're going to get.
Audrey Simpson has been working in family planning for 20 years and has been of the pro-choice movement here for the past decade. It's April 2010 and she's involved in working out where they go next.
He was going to get...
Two of the Northern Ireland Assembly's 108 members are publicly supportive of liberalised abortion here.
Yeah, I didn't think...
Anna Lowe of the Alliance Party and the independent Dawn Purvis.
Members of the pro-abortion movement obviously are gathering in the family planning at this time, and we've met some MLAs, we've met members of the Royal College of Midwives, who are obviously all united in their plan to have abortion legalised here. So it's a good time to be here. It's a good time to pray for them also. I'm here to pray for those people who would be planning the destruction of our future unborn children.
And just to sort of refresh your memory, when Jim Wells replaced Aris Robinson as the chair of the Health Committee, I thought it would be appropriate that I would write to him and ask for a meeting. Now, I have to say that I wrote to him not because of the abortion issue, but because of sexual health. He wrote back to us and said that, I refer to your letter of the day. He said, in your letter you outlined the work of the FPA, but you only made one reference to abortion. For many people in Northern Ireland, your association is best known for its very public stance on the very emotive issue of killing of the unborn children. As you know, I feel very strongly about this issue and cannot associate myself in any way with the FPA.
It's disgraceful that the chair of the committee won't meet you on those grounds. Yeah. I mean, he's not elected to be sitting in there with his own Christian moral thoughts. He's there to represent everybody, and as chair of the Health Committee, that's a wide-ranging thing. Yeah.
Last April, a major shift occurred on the issue in Northern Ireland, although it went virtually unnoticed. Abortion was devolved into the hands of local politicians as part of the policing and justice package.
I think it's very clear that the people in Northern Ireland are pro-life, and I think it's very clear that they vote for pro-life politicians. So the politicians themselves have to stand up for the rights and the views of the people here, and the majority of politicians at Stormont are pro-life also.
Bernie Smith is well placed to influence our MLAs. She's been the communications secretary of the pro-life all-party group since she helped form 2007. Today, she's launching the latest phase of her campaign inside Parliament buildings.
Just use one table, Margaret, for sign-in. I would be involved in a lot of lobby campaigns. I'd be meeting with MLAs on a regular basis, informing them, updating them on all the dangers. Everything is sort of this end.
She has high-profile backers here.
Alex, do you put out some pens as well? Some of
the group is chaired by Jeffrey, and its vice chair sees her as a highly effective asset to their work.
Oh my goodness!
Clearly, Bernie is very passionate about the pro-life movement and very compassionate about children as well, and she is the convener for the all-party group. Certainly I've developed a good working relationship, of that family and personal relationship with Bernie. I see her quite often even in my own area and attend events hosted by Precious Life, and certainly, you know, she can be very vocal on her approach in terms of pro-life. Stay away from the white thread. Thankfully we have now justice and policing devolved to this Parliament, where unknowingly over 100 members of this Assembly has very clearly stated they do not want abortion.
The Department of Health says 78 abortions were carried out legally in Northern Ireland in 2009. That generally happens when the mother's life is at risk. Today's campaign is challenging why those abortions were legal. These pro-lifers are pushing an argument that there's never any medical need for an abortion.